Thank you.
So let's go now live to Tel Aviv, and Ambassador Mark Regev, senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Israeli ambassador to the UK. Ambassador, good to have you back with us. You know, I want to follow up actually on what Neil Ferguson was talking about there. And I wonder, you know, you hear Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, talking about the day after. Can you eliminate Hamas or whoever could supplant or replace them or be the new Hamas if the United States doesn't directly send a very strong signal to Iran? And are you disappointed that this administration is not speaking more forcefully about the role of Iran?
So it's clear, Martha, there's an axis of evil. The head of the octopus, if we can use that metaphor, is in Iran, and the octopus has tentacles. There are the Houthis in Yemen, there's Hezbollah in Lebanon, and there's Hamas in Gaza. And if we succeed, and we will, in defeating Hamas in Gaza, that's one of the tentacles has been cut. And that will put the whole axis of terror, the Iranian-controlled axis of terror, in a weaker position. They'll be playing defense.
But in terms of what we just heard, Antony Blinken didn't mention Iran, Ambassador. Why not?
Well, that you have to ask him, but it's clear to me and to the government of Israel, and I think to the people of Israel, that Hamas wouldn't be the force it is today without Iranian support. You know, Iran funds 93% of Hamas's military budget. They receive weapons, they receive training, and their sister organization in Lebanon, the sister terrorist organization Hezbollah, both Hamas and Hezbollah are part of Iran's axis of terror.
Well, we don't hear that from the White House, so that's why I'm asking, you know, I don't know how you can eliminate Hamas if you don't get to the root of what is driving Hamas. What's the Saudi input and relationship with Israel right now?
So obviously we're talking behind the scenes to Arab leaders across the Middle East. And I can tell you, and I don't think it's a big secret, Martha, that there is not a lot of tears shed in the Arab world for Hamas. On the contrary, I think there's a perception across the Arab world that Hamas is not good for Palestinians, Hamas is not good for the Arabs, and that Hamas is doing Iran's work. And as you know, Iran is not very popular across the Arab world, on the contrary. And what we've seen, as Ferguson said, you've got a situation in the Middle East where you've had more and more peace, more and more cooperation. The Abraham Accords, President Biden was about to negotiate a normalization agreement between Israel and Saudi Arabia. And though most people on this planet will embrace and welcome Arab-Israeli peace, for Iran and for Hamas, Arab-Israeli peace is an existential threat because they want to take us back to the dark years of conflict while we want to move forward. And I think when we have defeated Hamas, and we will, when Hamas no longer runs the Gaza Strip, when they're thrown out of power, when they're no longer the force they are today, the vacuum created will create space for more moderates and more pragmatic voices. And that ultimately will be very good for everyone who wants to see peace and cooperation here in the Middle East.
Mark Regev, Ambassador, thank you. Always good to keep up to date with you. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So it was